just arrived in Door County, Wisconsin, where we are starting our long weekend of camping and being up in this part of Wisconsin that I have never actually been to at all, even though I've lived in northern Illinois or Chicago most of my life. But so we drove about 4.5 hours from Chicago to our campsite, and we will be here for the next couple of days. We are camping in Peninsula State Park on Door County toward the more top part of the, I guess, thumb, if you want to call it. And we got that ahead of time and booked it online. We are actually going to be at this campsite for just 2 nights, and then we couldn't get this for a third night, so we're going to another spot for 1 night in a couple of nights. So over the last couple hours, we've just been relaxing at our campsite because we all got here between 6 and 7 p.m. So we didn't think to go out and do anything, just wanted to relax. Good morning from a sunny Door County. We woke up early this morning in our campsite with my first night technically ever camping, so I can't say I got the best night of sleep, but we're here to enjoy being here with friends and being in nature. So today's plan is we're actually going kayaking. That's the only thing we have planned and booked for today. So I think at 11 o'clock we are heading kayaking along the shore. And then I think after that, we're gonna maybe go do some bike riding, because we all brought our bikes, and maybe do some hiking as well. We're just out for a bike ride this morning to check out the grounds and camp or park that we're in and staying in before we have to head to kayaking this morning. You can. This park specifically that we're in is a really great spot to have a lot of biking trails if you bring your bike. I think they've touted that this has at least connecting to 20 miles of bike lanes and paths, and there's also so many hiking trails just nearby. So this is so far a really great spot to come camping, or even just if you're coming for the day or spending a weekend in other parts of Door County to come and explore. Harbor, but there's also a lot of shops, mainly a lot of restaurants here too as well. It's a nice stop along this side of Door County. So we spent a few hours on the water on Lake Michigan kayaking, which was really nice. It did get pretty windy, so it was getting pretty choppy, but if you aren't familiar with Lake Michigan, it is massive. So sometimes it kind of feels like you're in the middle of the ocean and it can get very choppy, but it was really fun, nice, beautiful day, clear skies. And then we walked around the town for a little bit, stopping in some of the shops and restaurants just to kind of check it out. And then we headed back to a place near our campsite for some pizza and just hanging out. Now we are just kind of relaxing at our campsite for a little bit because we were all pretty tired after kayaking. I've just been lounging in a hammock. Everyone else is playing some games. And then I think we're going to go out for another bike ride this evening and then just kind of hang out by the fire and play more games. But so far, I am loving Door County. The towns are really cute, a lot of charming houses, and beautiful nature. So we had quite the wonderful bike ride around the state park that we're staying in. Did about, I think, 8 miles. And then after that, we came back, dropped our bikes off, and went to, I forget the name of the town, but probably about 20 minutes away for some ice cream. And now we just came to watch the sunset for the day. And then I think after that, we're just going to go have a fire and relax and go to bed. Another sunny good morning from Door County, Wisconsin. Today we had to get up a little bit earlier because unfortunately the campsite we were at for the last 2 nights we don't have for the third night, so we had to kind of pack everything up, put it in our car because then we're going to a new campsite later, but we can't check in to our campsite until about 3 o'clock. So we had to do that and then went into one of the towns for some coffee and breakfast and just kind of hung out there for the last little bit. And we are picking up some firewood for tonight, our last night of camping and having some firewood. And then we are going on a boat for the next couple of hours, which we are very excited about. I think we're gonna go around on the Green Bay side, which was nice too. We kayaked on the other side of the peninsula. And yeah, we're gonna spend a day on the boat. We just finished our afternoon of boating. We were out there for the last couple of hours at a couple different spots, jumping off, swimming. It was a bit choppy, just like kayaking, but it was still really nice. It was warm out, so we couldn't have asked for anything better. And being able to see all the cool houses along the shore, it was beautiful and a great way to spend your time in Door County if you have the opportunity to. Another good morning from Door County. We are up very early this morning because we need to pack up our campsite because it's our last day, and then we're headed all the way to the tip because we are going to go to Washington Island today, and there are many ferries that go in between, the first one being in the summer at 7:30 a.m. So we're hoping to catch that one and spend about half the day up there, because then by about sometime in the afternoon we have to head back to Chicago, so that'll be about 4.5 or 5 hours to get there. So I'm sad to leave because this has been a really beautiful part of Wisconsin that I have never visited, but I know I would love to come back again. So we're now on the ferry to Washington Island from kind of the mainland peninsula of Door County. We are taking our bikes there, so we only had to pay the adult fee and then the bike fee, which made it a little bit cheaper, but you can also take your car. So if you do want to bring your car, that is an option. This is a car ferry. We're going to spend the day going around the island on our bikes, and I'm very excited to do that and kind of see what this part of Door County and this cool little island has to offer. The ferry over to Washington Island is super easy. It's only about 30 minutes and it's very relaxing. You get to see all the different little islands. I think this is behind me, I think Detroit Island, and then there's another little island. So it's a nice, easy spot to come over. And again, this person has their boat on here, so you can definitely have the option. There's a camper on here. There's also, I'm blanking on the name, but there's another island you can go to that there's no cars on, and you can take the ferry to next to Washington Island, but you can camp. So there's definitely possibilities for a few different ways to get over here. So we got off the ferry a little bit ago and have been riding our bikes around the main road so far, and we stopped at a coffee shop, got some breakfast and coffee and a chai latte, and now we're at the Schoolhouse Beach that is just a couple minutes down the road from where we stopped, and the water is very calm, very clear. It's really pretty, so we're going to stop here for a little bit. We're not sure quite where the day is going to go because it's potentially going to storm and rain, so we don't really want to get caught in that, and we knew we had to only spend half a day here anyway. So we're going to kind of go around, see what we can before it rains. Hopefully it doesn't. It's raining. So now we've done a quick stop at Mountain Tower. We can get a nice 360 view of the island and even the surrounding kind of peninsula of Door County as well. So there's a lot of cute shops and restaurants on Washington Island that we have been passing. Some of them are open on the weekends, some aren't. I would just double check that. But we're actually stopped at, I think, a sewing school that they have. A couple hundred students come throughout the year to see their yarn and check out that shop as well. But then I think we're gonna head over to the other harbor that you can get to the other smaller island on. And then because doesn't look like it's gonna rain, we're gonna have a little extra time to see more of the island, which is exciting. So we've just come to see what the Rock Island ferry looks like, because behind me, you can see, catch the ferry right behind me, take you to Rock Island. This one has no cars over there, so you will be able to just go over there. I think there's some camping, probably bring your bike, but no cars allowed if you want to go there for the day or overnight as well. We've come to stop at the lavender farm that is on Washington Island. We're just here slightly past their prime, but it's still nonetheless really pretty, and they have a great gift shop, and there looks like a bar and potentially restaurant here as well. We did get caught in a few minute rain and thunder, which was unexpected, but we're hoping it won't necessarily come back. Waiting for our ferry to take us back to Door County, the mainland. We ended up doing over 19 miles around the island to see different things. We're lucky we did get a little rain and thunder, but not too much. We were able to stop when it did rain and take cover. And now, yeah, like I said, we're waiting for the ferry to take us back over. And I think we said